always having trouble making your character stand out from the background? Or having trouble making the vocal points on your art piece more visualizing? Hey guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel called Lucky Universal. My name is Lucky, and today I'm going to be telling you guys 4 art tips to make your character or your vocal point in your artwork stand out more, mostly focusing on the lighting and the saturation of each individual. Number 1. Adjusting the hue in both the surrounding and focal points. This has a lot to do with complementary colors and will only work to the 100% fullest if the use of 2 completely opposite colors in the color palette are involved, meaning you're going to have a cool and warm color regardless. How this works is by taking a complementary color and deciding which part of it stays in the vocal point or the surrounding, meaning it's either you have a cool surrounding and a warm vocal point or the other way around. I'll explain both. For the warm colors, it's just like the human eye always get attracted to warm colors, especially red, but I don't really know why, but it's kind of like it's because of blood's red. So like back in the days, the human brain always like go haywire when seeing red because it was sometimes mistakes it for blood. Anytime we see blood, we like think about dangers and stuff. So it's kind of the same thing when it comes to your art piece. Your brain like triggers a kind of alarm or warning, so you kind of put your focus on the warmer side of the piece. So that's why putting your character in a warmer color than the background is kind of helpful and making your character the focus point. As you can see in this piece I upgraded. While in the case of cold vocal contracts, the background is so warm, your eye is gonna get bored of it somehow and focus on the cold one. But like, why is the cold color variation inside the warm color variation? And also in this case, it doesn't always get in the fact that the character has to be a cold color variation. It's gotta be a dark color variation, you know what I mean? For example, this mountain I drew could also be referenced as something like someone standing in front of a volcano, someone standing in front of a party scene, or something like definitely bright light, but the person is not as bright as the environment or the given surroundings. Number 2, addressing the edges of your vocal points. This is when you either lighten or darken the edges of your vocal points depending on the colors or lighting of the given surroundings. It's not a technique you see much often, but doesn't mean it's not hard. It's just by using a soft brush to just strike around the edges of the vocal point and can help you get this method right. I don't like the increasing of hard edge, it's most like a soft brush stroke like I mentioned earlier. And just like those two I mentioned, this one is just to separate the background from the vocal points. Number 3. Adding additional white light to the background. This act tends to result in your work looking pale or foggy depending on the brush you use. And with a simple rule too, knowing that the farther the object, more foggy it appears to look. Take a look at those mountain photos you used to look at. The farther it is, the more you notice as the mountain is appearing more white than usual, giving that foggy appearance. The easiest way I can say you can work on this is by figuring out the breaking point, which at the point that looks like it fits in a complete different stature or layer from the rest of the backgrounds. Separate them, put a white layer above it, and make sure to increase the opacity of the strokes as you go further in the photo. Basically, the whole point of this is just to make your eye feel dull and bored looking at the pale background, which in turn actually leads the eye to the warmer side of it, the less pale side, which is vocal points. Number 4. Blurring out your backgrounds. Finally, use this one yet, but I still don't know why I didn't say that the first one. Anyways, it might be easy, but there are some basic rules you really have to follow. Number 1. The way you blur your background strongly depends on how close the character is to the camera, and it goes the other way around. Okay, let's take a photograph for example. Look at this photograph right here. We'll call him Johnny. And I'm sure sometimes you've actually seen some photographers just like Johnny right here. Before taking a photo, switch this doohickey right here. This is because it's trying to adjust where the blurred and the focus part is going to be. And one thing you should notice about when he's doing it, the further she is, the less blurred the background is going to be. This is the exact same thing you should apply when you're putting your drawings in a blurred background. Oh, and yeah, one advice I want to give to you guys when you're trying to do a blurred background, please do not detail what you're going to blur out. Because number 1, no one's going to see it, but 2, it's a waste of time. Just imagine you taking hours in the background just for it to blur out in the end. Seriously, it's crazy. This is one time I can easily say that doing less is more, because no one's going to pay attention to the background if it's blurred anyway. And that's all the secret. today's video, guys. Hope you learned something from it. Please don't forget to share, like, and comment on this video. And also hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Until boy Lucky, signing out.